Welcome to Adventure in Art. My name is Ben Staley, your resident talking head. This episode is about the Thypoch Ksana 35mm f2.0. Full disclosure, Thypoch sent me this lens in exchange for a video review. I do get to keep the lens, but they don't get to see the video before I upload it, and they have no say in what I say. My thoughts are my own. Look at this little thing. Let's just start right off with the specs, shall we? It comes in both silver and black. I kind of wanted the black version, but they sent me the silver, and well, we'll talk about that. It's 35mm M mount lens. The aperture goes from f2 to f16. There's a 43.2mm image circle. There are 8 elements in 5 groups. It's a manual focusing lens, of course. The close focus is 0.5 meters. We're definitely going to talk about that. It's 27mm long. There's 10 iris blades. The filter size is 39mm. It weighs 198 grams. At the time of this recording, I'm not sure about the final price of this lens, but I will put it in the description below along with a link to purchase if you want to do so. It's a very compact, sturdy feeling little lens. Right away, what I like about Thypoch and what they're doing is just the tolerances, the resistance of the focusing tab and the iris. There's little clicks when can you hear that? It's just all feels very nice and it feels premium. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. However they're tuning these things, it's great. Yes, there's a little focus tab. I love M mount lenses. Of course, I have a Leica M6, so I shoot a lot of film. But I also like to adapt my M mount lenses to digital cameras. I like the short focus throw, and as a casual walk around experience, I just prefer a manual focus lens. I like being engaged. I like being a little slower. I just like having to stop and manually focus and figure things out. And it's just, I'm more engaged with the process. That's my particular tastes, just so you know going into this. Now, the other benefit is that lenses, M-mount lenses, are typically quite a bit smaller than most autofocus lenses. So I just prefer that experience if it's a casual walk around shoot, which I generally always have a camera with me when I'm walking around. The other thing that Thypoch sent with this lens is this filter. It's called an organic black mist filter, and it's silver. It matches the lens perfectly. They come in 1/4 and 1/2 strengths. I have the 1/2 strength, go big or go home. The filter is $55. The lens also has this cool little lens cap. Fits on real nicely. There's a black back cap, which who cares, right? You don't need to see that. But this is pretty cool. Fits on really tightly and nicely. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of photos and then we'll get into my thoughts. For these first photos, I'm showing you far focusing and then I close focus immediately just to show you what the bokeh looks like and what the out of focus areas of the lens look like. Right away, I just really found the out of focus areas of this lens, the rendering, very pleasing. I dig it. Now, of course, there's the Pro Mist filter on, so take that into account with the highlight blooming. Although it's more subtle than I would have expected at a 1/2 strength. A couple weeks ago, I went to the Troubadour to see my pal's water tower perform with our friend Beebs. Pretty cool to get to shoot at the iconic Troubadour. These shots are all with the Ksana 35 adapted on the Lumix S1 Mark II. It's pretty dark in there, so wide open all the time. Actually, most of the shots you see in this video are all shot wide open. So now that we've seen a few shots, let's compare this lens to some other 35mm M-mount lenses. This is the Thypoch Sumira 35. Okay, the Sumira is quite a bit bigger, so the Ksana just comes in clutch as being a lot smaller. The Ksana is 198.6 grams, the Sumira is 325.5 grams, not quite double the weight. It's quite a bit longer, like almost twice the length. Here's what's cool. One of the advantages of the Sumira, in addition to being a 1.4 lens, is it will close focus to 0.4 meters. But the Ksana is really close at 0.5 meters. I think that's pretty cool. Now let's compare it to something that's a little closer in specs, or at least size. This is a Voigtlander color scope bar. Check this out. Now, I've had the scope bar for a number of years, bought it, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe. I've taken it around the world. It's been to Africa like 3 times, been to South America, it's been to Australia, it's been all over, and it's kind of my main walk around lens on my Leica M6. I almost never adapt it digitally, although I will use it, have used it sometimes on the S9. There's videos about that. But what I like about that lens is it's nearly pancake. You take the lens hood off, it's super small. So on the M6, it is a super small package. Almost goes right in your pocket. But here's what's interesting. Let's compare the color scope bar with the Ksana. The color scope bar is a bit lighter. It's 134 grams versus 198 grams. But the color scope bar will only close focus up to 0.7 meters, where the Ksana will close focus up to 0.5 meters. That's a difference of 0.2 meters, which is close to 8 inches. That's quite a bit. Right in here somewhere. When I'm walking around, I love to close focus, and I love to just really single in on almost a macro shot and throw the background out of focus. Can't really do that with the color scope bar. Plus it's an f2.5, not an f2. So the way I've used that lens is mostly just on my M6. I generally stop down to 5.6 or f8 or f11, depending on where I'm at. I'm shooting film, everything's in focus. It's just kind of that small, compact 35mm focal length. Boom, I can just get whatever's in front of me. But it's really cool with the Ksana, which is just barely bigger, a teeny bit heavier, it's faster, and it close focuses. I think the close focusing on this lens, really close almost to the Samara, that is the secret weapon of this lens. Plus it's f2, plus the bokeh just looks really great. Once I compared the specs, I was pretty impressed. Most of these shots are JPEGs right out of camera. You'll notice I crop a lot of them at 65 by 24. I love that X-Pan crop. And I really love the real-time LUT function in the Lumix cameras, so I can put a LUT in there with the color profile that I like, and then I can just export JPEGs. For casual walking around, I don't need to spend a lot of time in post. I love that workflow, happy with the real-time LUT. Always generally throw a little bit of grain on because I like that texture. This is just fun, creative way of making photographs that I like. Obviously, if I'm shooting professional, I have a whole different workflow, but for casual walking around, that's how I'm doing it these days. I like it. Oh yeah, I went to Alaska recently. Walking around in a snowstorm, took a bunch of pictures of street lights just to show you, A, the bloom of the filter, the out of focus areas. Obviously, these are all wide open. Really like these grass shots. Now this is close focusing, and you can see how the background is really soft, just really like the bokeh. This sounds cliche, but there's like a painterly look to it, and honestly, I'm really digging this lens. I've got to shoot snails every time I see them. Let's look at this lens on some different bodies. Like I said at the beginning, I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get the black version. I typically do not buy silver lenses, but check this out. I actually really dig the look of this lens on my black M6. I think it's pretty sexy, actually. Not that it matters. The color of the lens obviously doesn't impact the photos you make, and frankly, it's a little cringe to even like consider that, in my opinion, but it does look cool. This is what I've shot it with the most, which is my S1 Mark II. I've got a cage in this camera. Cage wraps all the way around because I'm doing a lot of video with it all the time. So it ends up being a pretty chunky package, which I love this tilted cage. The camera body is not so big, but when you put a cage on it, especially over here, it's just like it's more to hang on to. It's a little weird with this small lens, but I actually don't mind it. The thing I love about shooting with this camera is it's got a really high resolution EVF, and I am someone, just because of my macular degeneration, I'm getting older, I need a good EVF. I'm not really back of the camera screen kind of guy. Let's talk about that in a minute, but I love the high res EVF on here. And then I can get in and I can fine tune the focus with peaking, and I find that I don't have any trouble there at all. So let's put this on the S9. In my opinion, this is a super cool looking little package, and I love the size of this S9. Again though, it doesn't have an EVF, so you're back of the screen focusing. Every time I'm carrying this around, at some point I just end up going, oh, wait a minute, there's no EVF. I want a camera this size with an L mount and with an EVF so bad. Come on, Lumix, put this camera out. Make like an S1 type camera, but with an EVF, even if it's a little bit bigger, or and maybe even a little better screen on the back. Like, I would pay a premium for that. I would pay a premium for a photo-centric camera in this style body. Then I can put M-mount lenses on it. It's not as big. I wouldn't even rock a cage, maybe a grip like this one. I want that camera so bad. I want to be able to shoot with small M-mount lenses in a small package. And kind of the only thing out there in full frame for me like that would be an M EV1, and those are like, what are they, $9,000? Which, okay, I've spent a lot of money on cameras before. It just seems kind of ridiculous to me in this day and age to spend that much money on a freaking camera. I don't want to have to do that. Yeah, that's what I want. But I have carried this package around a lot. I think the silver Ksana looks pretty good on here, using a Metabones M to L mount adapter. Somebody give me a camera this size with an EVF, please. Here's a couple more shots. Oh yeah, and I did shoot some film. I really dig this little lens a lot more than I thought I would. F2, it's pretty darn fast. What I'm surprised about is the close focusing. I mean, it's almost as close as the Samira, and it's quite a bit smaller, just a little bit slower. So this thing will definitely be replacing the color scope bar on any digital camera. I don't see a reason to use that anymore. This is faster, it focuses closer, I can get those macro shots. It's a teeny bit heavier, a teeny bit bigger, but not enough to make a difference to me. If I would ding this lens at all in Thypoch for what they've done, the only thing that disappoints me a little bit is this lens cap. Once you put the filter on, the lens cap does not fit snugly anymore. Now, of course, the filter is there and it protects the front element of the lens, but it would be so cool if this was engineered so that it fit on right over the filter, and then you just had the nice little package. Just because the filters are customized to fit on these lenses so nicely, and there's such a premium feeling little filter with the little knurled edges around here, so you can pull them on and off. This is a really nice filter. I wish the lens cap would fit over the whole thing, because the cap is premium as well. That's probably, honestly, my only ding. I don't know what this lens is ultimately going to cost, maybe around $500. I think it's well worth the value. I'm excited for what Thypoch is doing, how they're engineering their lenses. I actually think they're a cool company, and I'm not just saying that because they sent me this. I am a fan, and I have been itching to get a hold of their M-mount cine lenses. I've got a big project, and I'm really looking hard at those because they're so small and they're light, and I just really love their optics. So that's a quick and dirty review of the Thypoch Ksana 35mm f2.0. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, if there's something I left out. This is about as deep a review as I do. I am thinking I'm gonna throw this thing on the S9, yes, no EVF. I'm gonna put it in 65x24 mode. I'm gonna have it in Leica monochrome setting. I'm gonna put some grain on it, and I'm gonna spend a day down in the LA subways, just seeing what I can get. I'm gonna ride the train into town to Union Station, and I'm gonna kick around all over LA in the subways and on trains, and just spend a day doing that with this lens. And I've been thinking about that for the last couple weeks. So expect to see that in the future on this channel. I expect you're gonna see a lot of photography with this lens coming up in my walk around, walking with a camera series. Thanks for watching. I think that's all the blabbing I'm gonna do for today. Get out there and shoot something. We'll see you really soon. Thanks. Ksana. What is this fucking thing called?